In the lawless towns of the American Wild West, saloons and brothels weren't just places of entertainment, they were survival centers. For many women who worked in these establishments, every night was a gamble. They weren't just selling companionship, they were navigating violence, disease, and the unpredictability of men carrying six-shooters and tempers fueled by whiskey. But how did these brothel workers survive the deadliest nights in the Wild West? Let's dive in. Brothels thrived in frontier towns like Deadwood, Dodge City, and Tombstone. They offered more than just intimacy, gambling, music, and sometimes even food. But behind the velvet curtains and swinging doors, life was brutal. Women faced diseases like syphilis and tuberculosis, hostile customers, and constant judgment from respectable society. Many worked in tiny cribs, one-room shacks no larger than a closet, where privacy was non-existent. And when drunken brawls erupted, their lives were often in danger. So, how did they endure? Surprisingly, solidarity played a huge role. Many brothel workers formed tight bonds with each other. They shared money, protected newcomers, and created their own support systems. Madams, the women who ran the brothels, often acted as both protectors and enforcers. They hired bouncers or bribed local sheriffs to ensure their establishments weren't overrun by violent cowboys. Some even kept firearms hidden under pillows, ready to defend themselves if a customer turned dangerous. A revolver under the bed wasn't uncommon. In fact, many women became skilled with pistols and knives. The saying, "armed and dangerous," applied to plenty of brothel workers who had no choice but to learn self-defense. Whiskey bottles, broken glass, or even heavy boots could become makeshift weapons. When a fight broke out in a saloon next door, these women often had seconds to act. Survival meant being prepared, both mentally and physically. Another key to survival was knowing how to handle both sides of the law. Lawmen often turned a blind eye to brothels, but only if they received payment in the form of bribes or free services. Outlaws, on the other hand, could be unpredictable. Billy the Kid, Wyatt Earp, and even Jesse James were known to visit brothels. Sometimes their presence brought protection, other times, it spelled disaster. Women learned quickly how to flatter, charm, and de-escalate tense situations before bullets started flying. Survival wasn't just about guns and bribes, it was also about wit. Many brothel workers developed sharp negotiation skills, charging more during busy nights or cutting off overly drunk customers before trouble began. Some used hidden trapdoors or back exits to escape when a fight broke out. Others learned how to play cards, gamble, or dance, ensuring they had multiple ways to earn money if things turned dangerous. And when diseases spread, women who insisted on cleanliness and medical attention had higher chances of surviving in an era before antibiotics. Perhaps the most important figure in brothel survival was the madam. Women like Madame Mustache in California or Dora Dufran in Deadwood were legendary for their cunning and resilience. A strong madam meant fewer violent customers, better pay, and more protection. Some even became wealthy businesswomen, buying property and earning respect in towns where women usually had none. But for the ordinary worker, the madam was both boss and shield, the difference between a night that ended with coin in hand or a knife at the throat. The deadliest nights often came when gunfights spilled into brothels. Rival gangs would shoot up saloons, and stray bullets pierced thin wooden walls. Workers survived by hiding under beds, crawling through floorboards, or slipping out the back while chaos consumed the street. There are stories of women dragging injured customers to safety, and others of them out shooting attackers who underestimated them. Survival demanded courage as much as cunning. By the end of the 19th century, the Wild West began to fade, but the stories of these women's survival live on. They weren't just passive victims of circumstance, they were fighters, survivors, and in many ways, pioneers of independence in a world stacked against them. Their nights were dangerous, their profession judged, but their survival strategies, whether through solidarity, wit, or sheer grit, kept them alive in the deadliest towns of the frontier. So, the next time you picture the Wild West, don't just imagine gunslingers and sheriffs. Remember the brothel workers, armed with pistols, survival instincts, and courage, that helped shape the legend of the American frontier.